You have to do what you are told or you have to go. The office lights were still shining really bright even though the city outside had already gotten dark. The office lights were still on. They were really bright. The glass walls reflected rows of desks. These empty desks were witnesses to another long night of work at the office. The glass walls and the empty desks seemed to be telling a story about the people who worked there and the long hours they put in. The empty desks were a sight and the glass walls reflected this scene every night. At 8:47 p.m. Maya Bennett was by herself, at her workstation. She was staring at the screen. Maya Bennett was not really seeing it. Maya Bennett was just sitting there looking at the screen. Her mind was somewhere else. Her fingers were hovering above the keyboard. They felt stiff because she had been working for hours on the computer. The keyboard was right in front of her waiting for her to start typing, but her fingers just would not move. They were tired from all the work she had done. Her fingers were stiff from all the typing she had done on the keyboard. Her coffee was cold, her shoulders really hurt, and her phone kept buzzing with a message from someone. She did not feel like opening the message on her phone. She already knew what it said. There was no need for her to read the message again. The words were already stuck in her mind. She could not forget them. She was thinking about the message from the note. It was really bothering her. The note said some things that she did not want to hear. She knew that she had to face the truth about what the note said. Her mother was asking if she was coming home for dinner, and her mother really wanted to know if she was going to be to eat with the family because her mother had cooked her favorite food and her mother thought it would be nice if she came home to have dinner with them. Again, the answer would be no. For 3 years this had been her life. Nights, early mornings I have to cancel my plans and I even miss my friends' birthdays. This is what my life is like. With nights and early mornings I always seem to miss important things like birthdays because of late nights and early mornings. All in service of one man, Ethan Kross, millionaire CEO of Crosstech Industries. This man is really special. He is always in magazines. People say he is a genius, a visionary and a leader. They think he is very smart and can see what is going to happen in the future. He is also very good at telling people what to do, which is why they call him a leader. This man is known for being a genius, a visionary and a leader. The man that Maya knew was really something different. She heard the sound of shoes clicking on the floor and her body got tight right away. The sound of those expensive shoes against the floor really got to her. She stood up straight, her face became totally calm and she hid her feelings away. Ethan Kross was coming closer. He was there. Ethan Kross was getting nearer and nearer. He walked up to her desk and just stood there. He did not even say hello to her. The smell of his cologne mixed with the faint scent of stress and power. The man wanted to know where the Mercer report was, so he asked in a firm tone. His voice was flat and he sounded like he was in charge. Maya swallowed. She felt a lump in her throat as she tried to push down the food. Maya was really nervous. It was getting harder for Maya to eat. The food was stuck. Maya did not know what to do. Maya just sat there thinking about what was happening to Maya. Sent to your inbox at 6:30, sir, along with the revised projections and the legal summary. He tapped on his tablet. He was not really listening to what she was saying. Her words did not seem to be getting through to him all. That one sound was the thing to something nice she had heard in a very long time. It was the closest thing to praise that she had heard in months. The sound was really the only thing that came close to praise for her. She looked at the clock again, trying to see what time it was. The clock was something. She kept looking at the clock, was really getting her attention. She was waiting for something. The clock was not moving fast enough for her, so she looked at the clock again. Almost 9. Mr. Kross, she said slowly, I want to remind you that I will be off tomorrow. My time off was approved 2 months ago. I am telling you this so you will remember that I will not be here tomorrow, Mr. Kross. Ethan finally looked at her. He really took a look at her. He actually saw her, not just someone standing in front of him, but really looked at her. His eyes were sharp, cold, unreadable. The man said, tomorrow. Again he said the word, tomorrow, 1 time. Yes, Maya said. Her voice was steady. Her heart was racing. My father is having surgery in the morning. I really need to be for my father's surgery. Ethan leaned back a little. He crossed his arms. That is not going to work because the idea just does not seem right. The plan has some problems and it will not succeed. The thing that is not going to work is the concept itself. The words landed heavy. They really hit me hard. The words landed heavy and it was like a punch to my stomach. The words landed heavy. I felt it deep inside. Maya blinked. She said, I am sorry. He told me that I need to be. He said it like that was the word. The Asia deal is going faster than we thought it would. We cannot afford to wait around. The Asia deal is very important. We have to move quickly. Her chest felt really tight. All of a sudden it was like something was squeezing it. She felt her chest tighten. It was a strange feeling. The woman said that I had already approved her leave. She did this quietly. She was very firm when she said it about her leave. His jaw tightened. It was like his whole face was getting ready for something. His jaw was really tight. Plans change. Maya stood up slow. Her hands were shaking a lot. She said that she has changed her life because of this job. She cannot miss this thing. Her family needs her. She has to be for her family. This job is important to her. Her family is more important. Ethan stepped closer and lowered his voice. He wanted to talk to the person in a way. Ethan was being careful about what he said, so he spoke softly. Ethan did not want others to hear what he was saying to the person. He told me that I get paid a lot of money. The thing is, when you get paid that much, people expect things from you, like you have to do a job and work hard. He said that my salary comes with expectations, which means I have to meet those expectations. Something inside Maya just snapped. It was like a part of her broke. It changed everything about Maya. Maya felt it happen. She knew that things would never be the same for Maya again. Not loudly, not dramatically, but completely. She said, "I am not a machine." Her voice was shaking. It was clear. She also said that she is not owned. The woman repeated that she is not a machine. She wanted to make it clear that she is not owned by anyone. The woman said again that she is not a machine. The office felt suddenly too quiet. It was like all the noise had just stopped. The office was usually a place, but now it was really quiet. This made the office feel pretty weird, like something was off about the office. Some of the employees who were still there just sat at their desks. Acted like they were not paying attention to the conversation. The employees did not want to hear what was being said. The employees just stayed really quiet. Ethan's eyes got really dark. "He told me that I was going far," he said. "You are crossing a line," he warned. Maya took a breath. The woman said no. She told them that she is finally drawing one. He laughed once. It was a cold laugh. "He told me that I think I have the hand, but I do not." The man said, "I am wrong to think that I have leverage." He just said, "You think you have leverage." Then he said, "You don't." Then he said the words that would change everything. I mean, these were the words that would really change everything for the people involved, the words that would change everything in a big way. He told me I had to do what he said or I had to go. The ultimatum hung in the air, like poison. It was the ultimatum that made everyone feel so uncomfortable. The ultimatum was something that nobody wanted to talk about. The ultimatum was all that people could think of. Maya felt her heart pounding in her ears. It was beating fast that she could hear it really clearly. The sound of her heartbeat was pretty loud. Maya's heart was pounding in her ears. Fear rushed in quickly, and it felt very familiar. To me, fear was something I knew all too well, and this fear was coming at me fast. She thought of the rent that she had to pay every month. The rent was always on her mind. The rent was a deal for her. Of bills. Of her father in a hospital bed. It would be really easy to say sorry and sit back down. I mean, that is what a lot of people would do in this situation. Apologizing and sitting back down would be the thing to do. When you think about it, apologizing and sitting back down is not always that easy for everyone. For some people, apologizing and sitting back down is a thing to do. Then it occurred to her. She thought about herself. What she really wanted was to think about herself. Tired, invisible, slowly disappearing. She reached for her bag. Then she started to look for something inside the bag. The bag was really big. Had a lot of things in it. She was searching for her phone in the bag. Ethan looked really unhappy, his face all scrunched up in a frown. Ethan just could not help but feel this way. Ethan was definitely not pleased about something. "What are you doing?" She unplugged the charger, closed the laptop, and picked up the framed photo that was on her desk. The framed photo was something she really liked. She looked at the framed photo. Thought about the people in the framed photo. The people in the framed photo were very important to her. A picture of her parents smiling on a beach years ago. Maya said that she is leaving. Ethan looked at her like she was talking crazy. He did not understand what she was saying. The look on his face said it all. Ethan was completely lost. He stared at her like she was speaking a language. He said to me, "You are not going anywhere." He said it in a very sharp way. She looked into his eyes for the first time, and she did not look away. She told me that I gave her a choice. She said she is going to choose herself. The woman made it very clear that her decision is to pick herself. She said I gave her a choice. Now she chooses herself. She walked past him. Every step she took was heavy. She just could not stop. The woman kept going. Every step she took was heavy. The woman just kept moving forward. Her steps were heavy, but the woman was unstoppable. Her legs felt really weak. The thing that surprised her was that her spine felt strong. Her spine was like a rock. It was very strong. Her legs were weak. Her spine was holding her up, and it felt strong. "Maya," he said. Her name sounded really urgent. "You cannot do this." She stopped at the elevator. Then she turned back. One time she really turned back at the elevator. She told me that, for years, she was the one who made my life easier. At the time I was making her life smaller. The woman said that I did this to her, making her life smaller while she made my life easier. I will not do that anymore. I am done with that and I will not do that thing again. The elevator doors. I stepped inside. The elevator was pretty empty. There was one other person in the elevator, and that was a woman who stood in the corner staring at the elevator doors. The elevator doors started to close. I heard the sound of the elevator moving. The elevator was going up and it was going to stop on floors. The elevator was going to stop on the 5th floor. The elevator was going to stop on the 10th floor, and the elevator was going to stop on the 15th floor. I was going to get off on the floor because that is where my office is, and I work in the office and I do my job in the office, and the office is where the elevator was going to stop, and I was going to get out of the elevator. She stepped inside. Then she saw the room. The room was pretty big. She looked around the room. She saw a lot of things. The things in the room belonged to her. She felt happy to be in the room because the room was hers. She loved the room and everything in the room. As the doors closed, she saw something she had never seen on Ethan Cross' face, something that really surprised her. It was a look that Ethan Cross had never shown before. That was what caught her attention. The way Ethan Cross looked at that moment was completely new to her. Fear. The elevator went down smoothly, taking Maya away from the only life Maya had ever known, the life that was all Maya had for so long, and now Maya was leaving it behind. Her reflection stared back at her. She looked pale, but she was determined. The look in her eyes was one of strong will. Her reflection showed a girl who was ready to face whatever came next. Her reflection was pale, but her reflection was also very determined. The night air outside felt really cold. It seemed to be alive. Her phone buzzed away. It was one of those moments when you know something is about to happen. Her phone was buzzing and she could not help but feel a little excited. She looked at her phone and saw that it was buzzing because someone was trying to reach her. Her phone was buzzing and it would not stop until she answered it. Her phone just kept on buzzing. One message. You will regret this. She deleted the message without bothering to reply to it. Maya had no idea where Maya would end up working. Maya was really unsure about Maya's next job. She had no idea how she would get through the coming weeks. The thought of what was really scary for her, and she kept thinking about the coming weeks and how she would manage to survive the coming weeks. She knew one thing for sure. That thing was really clear to her. She had walked away and she still had her dignity intact. She had really held on to her dignity. The woman had walked away with her dignity intact. And Ethan Cross had just lost the one person who held his empire together. She walked into fear and found her power. Maya's apartment felt different that night. Smaller than usual. Quieter than usual. She placed her bag on the floor and leaned against the door. Her legs finally gave in. Her breath came out shaky. Not because she regretted leaving, but because she had been strong for too long. For the first time in years, no phone rang with orders. No email demanded instant answers. No voice told her she was late or wrong or replaceable. Still, fear crept in slowly. Rent, bills, her father's surgery. The uncertainty pressed down on her chest. She barely slept. Morning came too fast. Gray light slipped through the curtains. Maya sat on the edge of her bed holding her phone, half expecting a message that would pull her back into the old life. There was one message. From Ethan. You are not thinking clearly. Come back today and we will forget this happened. Her fingers hovered over the screen. For a moment the old habit returned. The urge to explain. To apologize. To make peace at her own expense. Then she remembered his voice. Obey or leave. Maya turned the phone face down. She went to the hospital instead. Sat beside her father's bed. Held his hand while doctors spoke. For the first time in years she was present. Her father squeezed her fingers weakly. I'm proud of you, he said softly. Those words did something inside her. Something that money never had. Over the next few days, reality arrived fully. Maya updated her resume. Applied for jobs. Some companies did not reply. Some interviews felt cold and rushed. A few people recognized her name. You worked for Ethan Cross, they said with interest, then with doubt. You were just an assistant. Just an assistant? The word stung. They did not see the contracts she negotiated, the crises she solved at midnight, the deals she saved quietly while others took credit. Money grew tight. She counted every expense. Still, she did not call Ethan. Meanwhile, Ethan's world began to crack. At first, he was angry. He replaced Maya with 2 assistants. Then 3. None of them lasted a week. Meetings ran late. Details slipped. Deadlines were missed. For the first time, investors noticed something was off. Ethan snapped at board members. Snapped at clients. Snapped at everyone. He called Maya again. Voicemails this time. Less commanding. More urgent. You're being emotional. You're hurting your own future. You belong here. She deleted them all. Then something unexpected happened. Maya received an email from a mid-sized consulting firm. They wanted to meet. Not because of her title, but because of her reputation. The interview was different. They asked real questions. They listened when she spoke. One executive leaned forward and said, "Most people don't survive Ethan Cross for 3 years." Maya smiled faintly. "I didn't just survive," she said, "I carried him." A week later she got the offer. Senior Operations Director. Respectable pay. Flexible hours. Maya cried. Not from relief alone, but from validation. She accepted. At the same time, trouble found Ethan. A major client pulled out after a presentation failed. A failure Maya would have prevented. Board members requested explanations. Ethan gave orders instead. Then the news hit quietly. A business article questioning Crosstech's sudden instability. No accusations, just questions. Ethan read it twice. His jaw tight. He knew the truth. The company was not falling apart because of markets. It was falling apart because Maya was gone. One evening, Maya stepped out of her new office building. The city lights felt different now. Less heavy, more open. She felt someone behind her and turned. Ethan stood there. No assistant. No entourage. His voice was lower than she remembered. "You can't just walk away and pretend I don't exist," he said. Maya looked at him calmly. "I didn't pretend," she replied. "I chose." His control slipped for a moment. "You think you're winning," he said, "but you don't know how this world works." She stepped closer, fearless now. "I know exactly how it works," she said. "And I know who I am without you." People nearby slowed. Listening. Watching. Ethan realized too late that this was not a private moment. And for the first time, Maya did not step back. She turned and walked away, leaving him standing alone under the city lights. Inside, something shifted. The balance was changing. And the world was starting to see who truly held the power all along. The moment the power shifted, the change did not happen quietly. It happened in front of everyone. Maya's first month at her new company passed faster than she expected. Her days were busy but human. Her ideas were heard. Her time was respected. She no longer flinched when her phone rang. She no longer apologized for breathing. At Crosstech, chaos grew. Deadlines slipped again. 2 senior managers resigned within the same week. Board meetings turned tense. Clients began asking difficult questions. Ethan Cross stood at the center of it all. Still confident on the outside. Still sharp in interviews. But underneath, the control was cracking. Then came the Global Business Forum. An event that could not be canceled. An event with cameras, investors, journalists, and rivals watching closely. Ethan needed a flawless appearance. He needed proof that Crosstech was still strong. And Maya's new company was invited too. Not as a guest, but as a strategic partner. Maya hesitated when she saw the invitation. She knew Ethan would be there. She knew this was the stage where power truly showed itself. Her manager noticed her silence. "You don't have to attend," he said kindly. Maya shook her head slowly. "No," she said, "I'm done hiding." The forum hall was massive and bright. Screens showed company logos. People shook hands. Smiles were exchanged carefully. When Maya walked in, she felt eyes turn. Not because of her clothes, but because of the calm confidence she carried. Ethan saw her from across the room. His body went still. For a moment, the noise faded. She was not alone. She stood beside her new leadership team, introduced as Director of Operations. Her title spoken clearly into microphones. Ethan's jaw tightened. During a panel discussion, the unexpected happened. A moderator asked a simple question. "What do you believe makes a company truly strong?" Ethan answered first. "Discipline, loyalty, and control," he said smoothly. Polite applause followed. Then Maya was handed the microphone. She took a breath. Her voice steady. "Respect," she said. "And trust. People perform best when they are treated like people, not tools." The room went quiet. Not uncomfortable. Interested. She continued. "I've seen what happens when fear is used as leadership. It works for a while. Then it destroys everything." Camera shifted toward Ethan. He forced a smile. After the panel, whispers spread. Investors approached Maya, asking questions, listening closely. Ethan watched from a distance. Every laugh, every handshake, every sign of attention felt like something being taken from him. Then came the final blow. During a closed-door investor meeting, a senior board member spoke carefully. "We need to talk about leadership culture." Ethan stiffened. What about it? Several reports mention intimidation and excessive control, the board member said. Some of those reports reference your former executive assistant. Silence filled the room. Ethan realized too late. Maya had not attacked him. She had not exposed him loudly. She had simply left. And that absence had revealed everything. Later that evening, as guests mingled, Ethan cornered Maya near the exit. You planned this, he said under his breath. Maya met his eyes calmly. No, she replied. You did. His voice shook with frustration. You think you're better than me now. She shook her head. I think I'm free. People nearby slowed. Phones lifted. A few recognized the tension. Ethan lowered his voice, desperate now. You can come back, he said. I'll fix everything. Maya's answer was quiet but clear. I don't work for people who threaten dignity. She turned and walked away as cameras flashed. This time she did not look back. The next morning headlines appeared. Not accusing, not dramatic, just honest. Leadership style questioned at Crosstech. Former assistant now industry leader. Ethan stared at the screen, realizing something terrifying. He had lost control not because Maya fought him, but because she no longer needed him. And that truth was more powerful than any threat he had ever made. He said you're not going anywhere, but she was already free. The consequences did not arrive all at once. They came slowly, then suddenly. At Crosstech, the board meeting was quiet in a way that felt dangerous. No shouting, no arguments, just papers sliding across the table. Ethan Cross sat at the head, confident posture, controlled face. But for the first time, no one mirrored his confidence. A senior board member spoke calmly. We have reviewed the internal reports. Employee turnover. Leadership complaints. Lost contracts. Ethan leaned back. This is temporary, he said. I'm handling it. Another board member shook her head. No, she said. You were handling it. Silence followed. Then the words landed. We are requesting that you step back from day-to-day leadership. Ethan's breath caught. That's not happening. It already is, the board member replied. Effective immediately. For the first time in his career, Ethan Cross was not obeyed. News spread carefully but quickly. No scandal headlines. No public drama. Just facts. Crosstech announced a leadership restructuring. Analysts praised the move. Investors stabilized. And quietly the company began to heal. Maya heard the news while walking into her office. A coworker looked up from her phone. Did you see this? She asked. Maya nodded. I heard. She felt no joy, no revenge, only a strange calm. She had not destroyed Ethan's world. She had simply stepped out of it. Weeks passed, then months. Maya grew into her role naturally, not through fear, but through clarity. Her team trusted her. They stayed late when it mattered. They spoke honestly. They felt safe. One afternoon, Maya received a final message from Ethan. No threats. No commands. I was wrong, it read. I see that now. Maya stared at the screen for a long moment, then typed her reply. I didn't leave to teach you a lesson. I left to save myself. She never heard from him again. A year later, Maya stood on a small stage at a leadership conference. Not as a billionaire. Not as a celebrity. But as someone respected. She spoke simply. I was once told to obey or leave. I chose to leave. And that choice gave me my life back. The audience rose in applause. Not because of drama, but because they recognized the truth. Somewhere else in the city, Ethan Cross watched the conference clip alone. Not angry, not powerful, just quiet. For the first time he understood. You cannot own people. You cannot threaten respect. You cannot force loyalty. And power without humanity always collapses. Maya walked out into the sunlight after the event. Her phone silent. Her shoulders relaxed. Her future open. She smiled. Not because she had won, but because she had chosen dignity over fear. And that was the greatest victory of all.